Dude, that reminds me. Do you remember that show? I want to say it was like late 90s. And it was the dude. The dude wore a black mask. And he revealed the magic tricks.
It was on Fox.
The mystery.
Yeah, it was like a Saturday night special.
Yeah, dude, that thing was intense.
Yeah, and then he mysteriously disappears.
Yep.
Like, because he broke the code.
Yep, they made him disappear.
They made him disappear.
And not reappear.
I'm loving this conversation, so I'm going to bring it in.
Let's bring it in.
Welcome back to Five's a Crowd. You're surrounded by your 5 best friends, guys.
That's right.
Cam, Chris,
Hello.
Tony, Zach, and Austin.
Hola. I thought you said you're surrounded by your 5 best friends and Chris. That's kind of how I heard.
Valid.
I mean that too.
They just offered me pizza. That's
I
it.
don't know who I don't know who the other one is.
I know. They are.
But we really don't have any direction. We just want to hang out.
In the news,
I love what we're
what's going
talking
on?
about. What's going on with our lives?
It's funny you say that because there was a question on here.
Bring
and
in questions.
Yeah. We got to answer questions from.
Well,
the
there's a
last
girl
one.
in here named Kylie
Jenner?
Siegschlag.
Oh, Siegschlag.
I
I know
probably
her.
butched that last name
I
horribly.
have to look it up.
Siegschlag.
Butchered it.
Butchered it.
I am
sounds
butchering
German.
it horribly. Anyway, she says, do you guys all agree on a topic beforehand, or you just show up and come up with a plan and hope for the best?
Okay.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Sometimes we're really organized. As of lately, not so much.
Yeah.
We all have
Summer
a lot
has
going on.
kind of botched our plans.
Well, as you'll notice this episode, this is one of those where we're just showing up and hoping for the best.
yeah,
So,
it's all right. We're along for the ride just as much as you are, and sometimes that's amazing.
Yeah, we like to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I have to say, I try to get topics thrown out. And
He really does.
you really
Tries
do.
real hard.
Except for this last time.
No, yeah, I completely dropped the ball this time.
We all did, man. It's summer. It's crazy. It's almost back to school time. Like, we're just all trying to enjoy the last moments of summer, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't even get a summer.
Well,
Yeah.
this is finally the time that it feels nice enough to go outside.
I think by the time this
Not
episode
hide
comes
inside.
out, school will probably have started.
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh, already?
yeah,
I guess
Our
it is
kids
almost
start on the
mid-August.
23rd.
Drat.
I'm going to throw out another shout out.
Do it.
And
Oh,
a
yeah,
question this is from Jennifer Van Pelt. She said, "Who is most likely to break something and blame it on their kids?"
Ooh. Okay, so I actually read that comment. This reminds me, did you guys ever see that Malcolm in the Middle? Where I don't know the name of Bryan Cranston.
Oh my goodness.
Just
but
the
he,
dad?
but he runs in and he slams the door. He's like, "Quick! Who wants $5?" He's like,
That's his
they're like,
name.
"What do you mean? $5? Anyone to take the fall."
And then the whole time,
Which one of you will take the
wife's
fall?
like, "Oh my gosh!" He's like, "What did you do?" No questions.
No questions.
Well, then Malcolm
And he's
turns
like,
around and he goes, make it 10.
Make it 10.
Because he
He's like,
hears the
"Deal."
mom in the background.
"I got him right here, honey." And then he
Grabs
starts
the
the
culprit.
I need to go back. Is that streaming on anything?
It has to be somewhere.
I was thinking about that. I never fully watched that
I watched
show.
them a couple times when it was on basic cable, so it was kind of just you caught it when it was on type
I
thing.
watched that every Sunday.
Yeah,
when it aired,
every
yeah.
time I watch it, it's hilarious. I need to sit down and watch it.
One of the episode, like one
It
clip
is
in an
streaming
episode.
on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's good
There
to
you
know.
go.
Sweet. I'm gonna have to watch.
But
That'll
one
be
of
my
the
background
clips,
show.
I don't know what the episode was about, but one clip that sticks with me was the boys made their own firework. And I just remember they go out into this field, they light it. It doesn't show the firework. It just shows all their faces like look up as it goes up. And then for a split second, it literally turns to daylight and then goes back to dark. But oh my gosh, it killed me.
Oh, man. They have a lot of really good humor in there. Did you guys see a lot of you haven't seen Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Only a couple
I've seen
episodes.
3 seasons of it.
What? Oh my
I'm working on it.
gosh, man. Anyway, there's what's the fan theory? There's a fan theory that Breaking Bad is one of Hal's dreams.
Yes.
And so like
Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, one of the late nights actually made that come to fruition. They did it on their show where they legit had this whole thing where Bryan Cranston wakes up in bed and then his wife on the Malcolm in the Middle, Lois, whatever, is sitting right next to him. She's like, "What's going on?" He goes, "I just had this horrible dream that I was a drug dealer and all this stuff and I got my whole family killed." And I just went off on this whole spiel and
Oh,
she's
does that
like,
happen?
Spoiler alert.
No,
You're
it
not gonna
really
watch
doesn't.
it.
You guys should though.
But-
Are you and I the only ones that
I
have
want
watched
to
it?
finish it. I'm gonna watch it. I want to finish it.
Dude, it's so
Yeah,
good.
he just went off on this whole spiel though, and she's like, "How? What are you? This is why you can't eat anything before you go to bed, or something." Like, you should look it up. The skit. It's actually pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who do you think? Let's answer the question.
Oh
Who
yeah.
would it
Sorry.
be?
Sorry, that question reminded me of that.
I know.
So, yes. Sorry.
I
the
think
tangent.
before, because we could keep going and
No,
then we
way
would
to bring
answer
it
the
back.
question.
My money's on me.
I would bet you too.
I could see that.
I legitimately did that to my siblings growing up.
Really?
I would break something, I would put it back together, and wait for them to come and hit it or bump it.
So you
And it
pull
would
a
break and it'd be
Tommy
like, "Oh
boy.
my gosh, what happened?" Like, Ma!
You would.
All right, yeah,
I'm the
definitely.
youngest kid. Like, come on.
And then
I'm the
there's
youngest too, but I would never.
right.
Yeah.
The second part of the question too. Who is most likely to get in trouble at home for what they just told the podcast?
Zach,
Tony.
I think Tony.
I don't remember what you said,
Just if you said something.
but I feel like Jenny wouldn't listen to
Yeah.
Zach.
Oh,
That's actually a good point.
valid.
Anyone
Yeah. Jess doesn't listen.
Because I feel like anytime someone's gotten in trouble, it's been you.
If
Yeah.
Jenny listened, it'd be me. But
Okay.
Jenny doesn't listen.
I don't
what you said.
necessarily get in trouble.
No, they're not meaning anything specific.
No,
just
no,
like
no.
on the podcast, anything that is said.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
I see
Nothing
that.
specifically.
Yeah.
Just like, who'd be like, hey, you probably shouldn't have said that.
No, I don't see Zach getting in trouble as it is just like she'll bring it up and kind of be like, so what about this? And
She does
that
do
not
that
getting in
occasionally.
trouble?
Occasionally, I'll get a phone call, or she'll get home from like cleaning at night or whatever, and she's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "What?" And then she'll say something. And I'm like, "Oh, you listen to the podcast now?" And I just look at her and shrug my shoulders and be like, "I don't know what you want
What,
me to do."
honey? They really feel like gummy bears. They feel like giant bags of gummy bears.
They do.
sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I'm,
You okay?
What happened?
I just rolled a nut.
Did you really? How did you do that?
Why'd you do that?
I didn't mean to. That hurt so bad. My guts.
That's why you got to have the little pocket that they slide up in.
I know. I'll be all right.
I didn't know you could do that sitting.
Dude, I rolled it over this hump or something. I don't know. Yeah, I hurt though. Also, it did that crunch sound. You know the crunch
They're
pop.
not supposed to be crunchy.
It's like a crunch and then a pop at the end of that.
Mute him.
My bad.
All right,
Swing low, sweet
You know what?
chariot.
bringing it back.
I want to get a bag of gummy bears now.
What'd you say
Bro,
about the
they
gummy
legit
bears?
feel like it.
I want to try it.
They feel like gummy bears.
What does? I
Gummy
missed it.
bears.
Kara's fake boobs.
Implants.
Oh, Zach's in trouble.
Silicone. Bags of silicone.
There we go.
Feel like gummy
They
bears?
feel like gummy bears.
Well, it's
You
funny
want better
because
feeling, melt them down
Well, the gummy
into
bear's
bowl.
a different type.
Holy crap! Cam! We should make our own implants and then have boobs for an episode of Men Try.
I'll eat them.
That's so different than normal.
well, it's funny.
It
actually.
could be like sorry,
you're good.
real quick, but off of like Wild Wild West. Have you seen that with Will Smith? When he's like,
Yes.
he's like, don't squeeze it so hard. Now you're shifting around all the buckwheat, and he's like, buckwheat. No wonder. He's like, let me show you.
He dumps it out.
Yeah, and he's like, now fill
Fills
my
it with
breast.
water.
Yeah,
my
because he's
breast.
like, fill my breast, and he's like filling it and shifts it, and so then he
Right.
fills it with water. He's like, now fill my breast. He's like, ooh, very nice. And the
So
what is
my-
it?
train conductor.
Yeah, the train conductor.
that's
He's
right.
just like, what is going So I
I
can
love
see
that
that.
movie.
That's awesome.
Now, every time I'm in the store with gummy bears, it's like, babe, why are you getting a chubby squeezing gummy bears? Mind your business.
Well, that's when we went into the consultation. That's actually what they called them, because they had
Yeah.
the saline,
Yeah.
and he's like, and then we've got these ones over here that we call the gummies, and they had 3 of them where one's, a little softer, and then by the time you get to the third one, they're really stiff.
Yeah.
And he's like, my suggestion is you go right in
So
the
are
middle.
you.
Not yet.
Curiosity kills the cat again. Okay, while we were talking about the magician that revealed the secrets,
Oh.
Well,
also
we're going that far back.
I also had this memory. This is why I wanted to bring it in, because I had this memory of. Do you guys remember Merlin?
Yeah.
The
Merlin.
TV show?
The TV show
It was like
that
a
would
short series.
Are you
it was
talking
like
the one with like was it Kevin
It's,
who was it?
it's Dr. Grant off Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Sam Neill.
I remember when Merlin would
Dude, that was
show
so good.
on public television,
Right.
and it was like a
Merlin.
3-night thing,
Right.
And you
Yep.
could buy like the trilogy
Oh, dude.
VHS kit, and I so badly always wanted it. It was always such an epic showing.
I was trying to figure out which one because there was another Merlin that got put out on.
There was a series on BBC, I think.
No, it was,
'Cause it was like a
um,
British one. At least everyone
Was it
had
BBC?
accents.
Oh man, that just I don't know why, but that
Took place in
magician
England.
totally brought that back. Like
Dude,
I
that
almost
was a
wonder
good
if it,
one.
like
I
piggybacked.
remember having those same thoughts and feelings. Like I was so excited for the next weekend when they would show it again. And that's back in the time we had our old like vacuum
Right.
tube television.
yeah,
we had
yeah,
to turn it
yeah.
on half an hour before so it would stop flipping,
Right.
like warm up so we could watch something.
That was a good series.
Dude, it was so
It
good.
was awesome.
Yeah.
It was kind of around the time of what was it? The Postman.
I don't know.
Remember that one?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember seeing
With
With,
that one
Kevin
was
Costner, right?
That was Kevin Costner, and yeah, Pony
I
Express.
don't remember it.
Was that it?
No, I thought it.
Or maybe it was the Postman.
Do you remember the
Helena
Odyssey?
Bowman Carter was in it.
Yes.
That was a good one. Do you remember the Odyssey? Did you watch that one?
It was a
Jones?
mini series.
If I found
it was
that
a
one, I'd
mini
get
series,
it.
so it was like 3 like hour-long episodes.
Yeah.
or
Martin
something like that.
Short.
Dude,
Yeah,
it was a big.
Martin
It
Short.
was a huge deal. It was one of those back in the day when it was like an event on TV.
Oh
basically.
yeah, dude. I honestly, that's what I miss the most.
That's not Freddy Krueger.
I miss the most that about like the weekly cadence of releases. Like I love that Stranger Things kind of did that, but it wasn't like a specific time you had to tune in. Because I remember how epic that was when you'd get home and you'd turn on the TV to watch the show, but then immediately following, like the next day, you could go into work and you'd all talk about it.
I remember
It was
doing
so
that with
awesome.
some Stephen King
bringing
ones.
Yeah, they're bringing that back. Oh yeah, I remember those. Like
Stephen
the
King
Langoliers. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I remember
Tommy
like
Knockers.
your
Yes.
parents would make a whole night of it. Like they would literally like
Right.
you'd have dinner done in time. You'd have some popcorn
Yeah.
or something like.
Well, I remember growing up. That was my parents every Sunday night. It was NYPD Blue
Oh yeah,
and The Adventures of Superman. With
yeah.
Oh,
I
Dean
can't.
Cain.
Yeah, Dean Cain.
No, well that was yeah.
Yeah,
Was that one?
that
Or
was that one.
Lois and
That's what they sat down
Clark
every
and
Sunday night
Lois
and would
and
watch
Clark?
it. And then the funny thing is, because then I figured out how to do recordings on that stuff, and occasionally my parents would be like, "Hey, set it up to record."
yeah.
And then you record the on the VHS or whatever, and
Then you accidentally recorded over something that was really important,
Uh-huh.
or you had to make a very important decision on, okay, do I really need my 3rd birthday or do I need to watch this?
or like at my house, it was we'd get HBO. You'd get the movie channels for free occasionally, and I'd record every movie I could. Then you got to a point where it's okay. Do I record over this movie or this movie?
Life choices.
Jim Henson's Jack and the Beanstalk.
I don't remember that one.
The real story. Dude, these shows are bringing back memories.
I think there was one of my favorites, and maybe it was an actual movie, but I swear I remember it being a mini thing, was Cat's Eye, Stephen King's Cat's Eye. It had Drew
was a
Barrymore
movie.
as a little girl about the little troll that would come out of her wall. And it would try and like steal her breath. It would crawl up on her chest to steal her breath, and the cat saves her.
Actually, I kind of remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so creepy though.
Gross.
There's something about
sounds
those
familiar.
90s shows that were just like,
What about the
Weirdly
80s
creepy.
ones? Labyrinth.
yeah, dude.
Oh,
that
dude,
one's
my
wild.
sister
Was
was
Labyrinth
obsessed with that
80s?
show.
Yeah, it was.
It was like
Look at
late
there.
80s, wasn't it?
How about how Jennifer Connelly is ageless? The woman's hot all the
Gosh,
time.
what was she just in? That
Top Gun.
Top Gun. I was like,
yeah,
darn.
that's
Oh,
right.
is that Jennifer Connelly?
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
She's the babysitter in Labyrinth,
Okay.
and then she was in Top Gun. She's the girl.
still
that
have to see
Tom
that.
Cruise dates. Dude,
Dude, it's so good.
it's apparently beat Titanic.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
That's
Yep,
impressive.
at the
Well,
I think they said at U.S. box office.
You can thank inflation. Or does that include inflation?
I don't know.
I can't
No,
imagine.
how
it.
do they measure that? Because I feel like
I can't imagine that.
because it's like Gone with the Wind, for example, held the record forever. But it's like Gone with the Wind came out so long ago that
They do
How
it
do
with
they-
inflation.
do they?
They
Yeah.
account for it.
They count for inflation.
So Top Gun Maverick sales SAILS
Oh,
past Titanic at the all-time domestic box office, ranking in 662 million.
Wow.
You know what still pisses me off about that whole record thing? about how Endgame had it.
Same.
And then what was the movie that beat him out? The
Star Wars episode.
no. It was the blue people.
Smurfs.
Oh, Avatar. Yeah, sorry.
the blue people. So Endgame beat out Avatar to become like the number one movie
and then
or whatever.
Avatar re-released.
And then Avatar re-released for like 2 months back in theaters to get their spot
in like
back.
China.
Yeah. No,
like
they
a-
released it out here too.
Well, they did it but they also did it. I swear I read something saying they did it in a place in China where they hadn't released. That was kind of like their loophole.
Oh.
And so they
Yeah,
beat
and
them.
they-
Game
But
recognizes game.
It turns out though they
Smart
lost.
move.
They still lost
It was
out
a smart move.
because eventually Endgame beat them again. Spider-Man No Way Home has beat Avatar, and then Endgame above them, and then number 1 is Star Wars Episode 7.
Really?
What?
That's
Force
number 1 right now.
Awakens.
It's because Star Wars is awesome.
So
Really?
Top
I
Gun
didn't
beat
know that.
I
Top
didn't
Gun
even know.
beat
Wow.
Titanic, but it's under Avengers, Black Panther, Avatar, Spider-Man.
So what's the
Avengers,
numbers
and Star
difference?
Wars.
Are you sure that?
Number 1, and this
That
is
sounds
domestic.
so
This is all
off.
domestic
Right.
market.
Oh.
So Star Wars Episode
Star
7's
Wars-
number 1 domestic,
Yeah,
not worldwide.
936 million.
Wow.
You know, in the news, speaking of like current events,
Whoa.
we just had our summertime social.
Right.
Yeah.
And we got to meet a bunch of you guys.
Yeah.
It was a freaking awesome, total last minute type thing. We only had like a week and a half heads up, but I loved meeting so many of you. The reason
fun.
why it brought that memory was one of the guys I met there. He is a barber.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
he
talking
was,
about him.
and he was and he was telling me about how, like, a month ago or 2 months ago, it was all like, what kind of haircuts was he saying? It was like mullets and blah blah blah, and now it's all high and tights with the mustaches.
Yep.
And so they're calling it what's his name?
Rooster.
Yep,
They're,
the
they're
Rooster.
Yeah.
calling the styling the Rooster. He's like, dude, it's so popular right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's
It's
wildly
everywhere.
popular.
I knew it would come back.
You just need to get the mustache. Just shave off
awesome.
everything else.
Yeah, get the steez.
Yeah, no, his name was Mike. I tried my best to memorize a bunch of people's
Yeah.
names, and I want to do a video with him where we try like
Yeah,
barber.
dude.
He was
Like
he was
legit.
telling
I'm
me
so down.
I was talking to him and he was telling me one of his frequent clients is a ghost hunter, like a legit ghost
Yeah.
hunter.
Really?
I was
So
like,
that's
that
the
would
thing.
be
He's
so
probably
fun.
got connections.
Dude, we need to talk to the ghost hunter because Halloween's around the corner.
I know,
Yes,
right?
please.
We should do
Right
another
there.
Fives a Crowd like men try ghost
Ghost
hunting.
hunting?
we should.
Yes, please.
Collaboration
Dude,
thing.
we got invited to go to Texas for a haunted house.
Like an
Legitimately,
actual haunted house or
Yes.
like a fake haunted house that you pay to go to?
I think a fake haunted house.
That's still okay. I like those too. But I like the real stuff more. I want to go to the freaking, what is it, the
Glass
Browning
half full guy.
Browning Mansion?
Yeah.
No, it's
Winchester
Winchester.
Mansion.
Dude,
I want to
that
go
would
there.
be wild.
We can podcast and do a men try. Oh,
We also got to meet. There were a few people there that gave us really good ideas. The
Blacksmith.
Blacksmithing?
blacksmith lady,
Yeah.
Natalie?
she was awesome.
was it Athena's
hammer.
hammer?
She
Gave me a
made
bracelet.
that? Oh, is that?
That's-
Are you wearing it?
No.
Oh,
You know, I was going to, but I didn't want to lose it, and I didn't want you guys to try to steal it from me.
I
Dang
would
it.
steal it
I
from
I'll
would've
you.
have to
stolen
find
from
it
you,
after.
too.
I'll have
I
to tell
would
it.
steal that from you in a heartbeat.
Too bad.
But he's like, I want you to fly down here to Texas and do the haunted house, and then afterward, you guys could be part of the hunt, or
That'd
like
be
the
cool.
haunt.
Oh, the
Yeah.
hunt. It's like, what the hell?
Whoa there. What was that movie with the girl that kind of looks like Margot Robbie?
Yeah,
Ready
Hide
or
and
Not?
Seek.
Hide and Seek?
Right.
Yeah.
Or no, Ready or Not.
It
Hide
was
and
Ready or
Seek's
Not.
Robert De
Okay,
Niro.
yeah, that movie was crazy.
That movie was so good.
Anyway, we met a bunch of you guys. Thank you so much for those of you who could have made it, and so many of you who are still
feel
here
like-
locally that didn't show up.
I
hope
feel like
everything's okay.
as far as the podcast goes, the planning we should have like, I don't know, plugged it sooner, maybe. But
Hey, you know what? We'll do another one
We
sometime. We'll do it more in advance, and we'll have some sort of like organization, like maybe some activities. We'll print out the background of our studio. You can take
Right.
a picture in front of it. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Right? That'd be
That'd be
fun.
way dope.
well, since we'll have the new studio with actual set studios, we'll have all of them.
Yeah.
And then you could pick your ladies and lattes, men try, fives a crowd.
Or we just throw them in front of a green screen and then they can just pick it and post.
That was my other choice too. I was like, that's a great idea.
There you guys go, thinking outside the box.
Then they could be in all of them.
Speaking of inflation,
What? Oh, shut your mouth.
You know, oh wait, inflation.
yeah,
He's
you guys.
talking about our-
Did you hear Wikipedia changed the definition of recession?
Get it down.
Wikipedia
up a little
or
bit.
the dictionary?
Right there.
Wikipedia
Little bit
changed
more.
the definition.
If you guys are tuning in an audio that does not sound right,
That's exactly where I needed it. All right.
Oh,
thank
there's
you.
just a little itchy and scratchy going on over there.
I'll let you guys figure it out. I'm not even gonna paint a picture.
Here's the thing, though.
Anyway, what were you saying about
Wikipedia?
Wikipedia changed the
Wikipedia.
definition of recession
To
Really? To what?
to not the
To what our
definition of
president-
recession.
to make it
what-
look like we're not heading
So what's
into a
the- so
recession.
the-
To
I'll
what our
look it up.
president said it was.
Yeah.
I will not go on
They
there.
changed, no,
Just
no,
saying.
exactly. They changed it to, yeah, no, come on, man, you know the thing. That's exactly what it is now.
So Google still has the right definition. Hold on, I'm going to get the Google definition.
I love how they changed it in Wikipedia because Wikipedia is completely open source.
Wikipedia has always, even since we were in school, teachers always said Wikipedia is not a good source.
Yeah, it still
100% it is. No, I'm
Well,
just kidding.
it is, but it isn't.
It is, but it isn't because any troll could get on there at any time and change stuff.
So the definition of it is 2 quarters where we have a decline in mass. What is it? GDP.
Yeah, GDP.
Right. Now Wikipedia it says
Gosh damn profits.
no. It's what's the word? They said it's adjustment. It's like when the economy's adjusting. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Or something
Stupid.
to that degree.
Dude, here's the problem. If you never accept your losses or your faults or your issues, you can never fix them.
Right.
If we want to get out of a recession, first step is to recognize that we're in one. It's like alcoholism or any other of those isms. Except you have a problem and then you can fix it.
Isn't that part of like the 12-step program? First step
but
is
anyway,
like
I thought that was
recognizing
funny.
the
Yeah.
First
issue.
step is acknowledging.
And then second's like finding a higher power or something like that. I don't know.
Higher than the government because they suck.
300
I have another
Win-Mag.
question.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, hang on.
Do ask.
So this is one of our frequents, Miss D Nice.
Ah, D nice.
Nice.
If you could go back in time to your first day in pre-K or kindergarten, what would you do differently?
Pre-K, kindergarten.
I don't remember that far back.
She adds here, and I, sorry to say I'm a little lost with it. She said, me, I would have walked right instead of left. And she said multiverse
Is it a
/
joke?
butterfly effect type question.
Yeah, that's a
but-
butterfly. Yeah, instead of walking, so walking into class, or let's say she walked onto the playground or whatever and went left
Oh, okay.
and
So something
ran
is
into a group of friends, she would have turned right.
just as
By doing that, it's that butterfly effect. Could
I mean,
have
her
caused a
friends
whole.
suck.
Well, it's
Yes,
yes,
her friends suck.
No, it's
Maybe
that
they
it's
do.
that whole butterfly effect.
Yeah, no,
where
I totally get
you
it.
take one little step in the other direction and it causes this huge ripple effect.
Yeah.
I'm
You know-
okay where I'm at.
kind of
Yeah.
on that. You know how, like, read this thing one time that was kind of hit home a little bit because it was like, you watch all these time travel movies and they talk about how, if you go back in time, the littlest thing can change the future. So be careful what you do. Right. But nobody thinks about the little thing now.
It's a valid point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
Like
like,
you're not-
I was like, I read that and I was kind of like, interesting.
You're not like being proactive about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as this question, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Kindergarten.
Because kindergarten, I
don't
had
even
my
remember
crap
much.
together. So like,
Heck yeah. You had your like 2 priorities and you were focused on them and that was it.
yeah.
Which were?
I don't know, coloring within the lines and watching freaking Power Rangers.
Learning your ABCs.
Yeah. Telling time. Analog style.
Hot Wheels.
Man, I don't remember
Yep.
pre-K at all.
I don't even.
I remember my teacher.
She hot?
I do too.
Nope.
Oh.
She was.
She had dark short hair with a little bit of gray. She was skinny. But yeah, Mrs. Gardner.
Mine was Mrs. Silverwood.
Dude, I had a
She
teacher
was
in
a
second
saint.
grade who was taller than us, but I was taller than her in third grade.
Really?
She was so tiny.
Wow.
I think that's why she had to teach second grade. The only class
Little
she was
bit of
taller,
authority.
The only one she was taller than. That's funny.
I don't know. I wouldn't change. I don't.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I've made it a point to not have regrets.
To not to.
No regrets.
No regrets. No regrets. Not even a letter.
Not even
Not
a
even
letter.
a letter. No, I'm saying.
No, I'm saying.
But yeah, like I've everything that's happened has happened. I can't do anything about it, so I don't dwell on changing it.
Yeah.
So I can't think of anything I would go back and change.
Yeah. I think if you were to ask me that same question in like high school, I would definitely have things.
Oh, I got one.
Go.
When I was in kindergarten, I had chicken pox. I had one on my eyelash or on my eyebrow. Or no, my eyelid. Eyelid.
We're getting there.
I had one. Yeah, I had one on my eyelid. I remember my dad pulled it, and so now I've missed eyelashes. Still to this day.
Why you have that?
Yeah,
It's a scare.
And everybody's asked me about it all growing up, and I always had to tell the story over and over and over again. So I would have punched him in the face. He pulled my chicken pox.
Me and my
And
brother
that's when
have the
Chris's
same,
life would have ended.
We have the same scar in the middle of our forehead. It's like an indent from a chicken pox scar.
I would have not let him do it somehow.
Karate chopped him.
I would have. Mommy, he's beating me.
Isn't that wild? We
Oh, wait.
survived a pandemic.
Yeah.
Which one?
2 of them.
Chickenpox even a thing anymore?
Mono.
Yes,
Are they?
Oh yeah.
they still are.
You still got to
They
get the
also
pox
turn
vaccine.
into shingles.
I was going to say
They
they're
could
a
do a
form of
vaccine.
shingles.
Yeah, I actually had shingles back when I was like 18.
it
It
sucked.
sucked.
I heard they're
Oh.
pain.
It sucked way bad.
That's
Yeah.
drawing the short stick because
Yeah.
that's very rare that
Yeah.
age to get that. I've got another one. From kindness is contagious.
Is it?
Oh, okay.
Which one of you is most likely to win Survivor?
Chris.
Chris.
Duh.
Easy.
No.
Yeah.
Whatever,
Okay,
dude.
I'm going to make an argument why it's not me. My social game would not be on point.
You
Okay,
don't
none of
need
us
to
would
be
think of that.
social.
I wouldn't be able to yeah, you do. They have to go.
It's a little bit of each.
But
The problem is that people would flock to you for your survival skills, and they would try to be.
And then they'd
with
vote
you.
me out because I'd be a threat, they'd say.
Eventually.
Yeah, so I wouldn't.
Well, then at that
So-
point, you charm them so nice with your sweetness that they would feel too bad to vote you
Well,
out.
my thing is I'm pretty blunt about things, and they they have to be devious, kind of. You know what I mean? They have to go play this crowd and that crowd.
Yeah, it's kind of
games.
like
I couldn't do that.
how
I'm
we
not-
said on one of our previous episodes, the card one, and it was the question on who would be least or something about a reality TV, and we all voted Chris because he's just not the drama type. But it's like Survivor is a reality show, like it has that ridiculous drama, but with the survival instincts. And so it's like you could win the survival side of it hands down, but the reality
Right.
show part of it,
you would just win the immunity idol so
Okay.
much. You
there
wouldn't
you
go
go.
anywhere.
If it was alone, yeah, for sure.
So you
I could
could
go do
okay.
alone. Go
What
survive
about-
in the wilderness by myself.
What about Naked and
Wrong.
Afraid? Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny that you brought that up because I was literally just going to ask anyone at this table who would actually
He'd
do
be
Naked
like,
and
he'd be
Afraid.
like, "Hey guys, look, I can clap
I
with my
would
hands."
for the experience.
I've never seen it. I don't know what it is.
Basically,
naked.
you get dropped off in the middle of the woods or whatever naked.
Naked. You
And
have
you're afraid.
a couple items, right?
Yeah.
Don't you get a couple
You're
items?
You get
expected
3.
to survive. Yeah.
Or maybe it's 5. I can't
don't
remember.
know, but I know you get a couple survival items.
Yeah.
That would suck so bad.
Yeah.
Just think about bugs and everything
my
else.
God.
They even
Gosh,
did
yeah,
one where it
you
was
lost
Naked
me.
and Afraid Couples Edition, but the couples were people that they didn't know. It was just
Yeah.
a man and a woman
You
put
are
together,
matched with another
Yeah.
survivalist.
How annoying would that be?
Oh,
right?
Gosh,
You'd be
trying
on
to do
Survivor
stuff
with
Someone's
an
trying to
friend.
survive with this boat.
you come home. Yeah, you'd be coming home playing Survivor with your wife when you got back from that. 'Cause she'd be like, I seen you looking. Duh.
Trust me, it wasn't great.
I didn't order from the menu.
This is what I thought it would be.
Have you guys actually watched the episode? It's like those people don't have great very bods.
No.
Well, it's the same
they
as
don't.
people in nudist colonies. They're never attractive.
I mean, but when you got nothing else to look at, I mean, things start to look better, probably.
it's either the partner or that tree over there. It's kind of a curvy tree, but I don't know.
I saw a thing about just kind of on there. It was like the most disappointing show as a child was Real Sex or something, because on HBO it was like Real Sex, and you think you're like being sneaky gonna watch some like slight porno type thing, and it's more just like documentary type, and it's nasty.
What is it?
Weird.
I don't know. I'd never watched it, but I just from this thing I read, and it was just like because it was more.
It's not good.
Sounds like Zach's watched a bit of it.
Hey, when you have HBO and you're like 10 years old and you're curious,
And
turn
you
it
see the
on,
words "real sex."
Yeah.
Woo.
You see it. And
Hey,
you go,
where's the fake stuff?
Was
You
it
see
like
it
for
and you
cheap
go,
prostitutes
"Ooh."
or something?
It's literally just a documentary of people that do real sex stuff.
Isn't
And
it
they're
like?
not attractive at all. Like I think I watched it for like 5 minutes and I'm like, this is
Is it just weird
not
stuff?
worth it.
I think
it's just-
isn't it
yeah.
like one of them's in the business of like making dildos or something.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Like it's just
it's just stuff like that. Like there's
like honestly, if you were to watch it with the intent of actually watching it like a documentary, it's probably not that bad. but going into it with like the intent of thinking you're about to watch a softcore porno.
See, and I went into it just thinking I wanted to see boobs, and I was like, these aren't.
You'd get better boobs on National Geographic.
It's true.
I used to look at the National Geographic.
Yep, that was.
What's that quote from Everyday Normal Guys? Like, I think I learned about sex from a Sears catalog. I think that's what he says.
A Sears catalog.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sears
what is it?
catalog.
I know that sounds familiar. What is that?
Everyday, regular, normal mother effer.
I know what that does sound
Yeah.
familiar.
Oh man,
Um,
so funny.
Oh,
I just realized I have your mic.
Oh, silly. Don't lick it.
Before you.
You want to switch?
A little late now.
Oh, what was I gonna say though? On the the survival things. Jenny and I, we watched this show it was on Disney Plus, but it was on the National Geographic part of it, and it was called Something Bit Me. And there was a story though that you talking about being dropped off alone. There was a story where you're with a group of guys, and then if you want to pay extra, you can have one of the local natives go with you as like a guide. But it's on it's like what do they call it? Like where the
Like an
land,
excursion?
yeah, but the land is like almost like a national
Like a
forest
preserve?
type preserve, so no firearms are allowed. So only the native is allowed to have a firearm. So if you don't pay the extra to have a native with you, you don't have any firearms with you.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like communism.
Yeah.
Well, they take the firearms away from the natives. Anyway, stay on target.
But anyway, they get dropped off in like the middle of nowhere, and then they just have to hike out. And so these group of guys do it, and they end up one of them gets attacked by a polar bear.
Where the freak were they? I was thinking Africa for some reason.
Oh no, they're up in
I was
it was
thinking
like
South America.
it was up in Alaska.
Oh, okay.
But the crazy thing is so like it shows like the reenactment. So the real people are telling the story, and then they have actors showing the reenactment, and they're walking across this frozen lake, and a polar bear's coming straight at them. And they're, making themselves big, and they're screaming and yelling and everything. And so one of them, they have a flare gun. And so one of them shoots a flare at it, and it spooks it. So it runs off. Well, it goes up onto this ridge and just watches them. And it watches them all the way into the night. And they set up their camp, and the equipment that they were told to get, part of it is this little electrical fence that they put around their camp.
Yeah.
But the electrical fence is held up by like little plastic pegs. It's about 3 wires, stands maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet tall, and it's generated by a box that has like 2 D batteries in it or
Shut
something like
up.
that. And so anyway, so they look up, they see that the polar bear's gone. And so they're like, okay, maybe it finally just left. Let's get some sleep. And in the middle of the night, it rips into this guy's tent, grabs him by the head, and starts to drag him off. And the other group of guys got it to finally drop him and leave him because they shot another flare at it. And long story short, they call for help. Life Flight comes in. Life Flight brings in one of the local natives to help the rest of the guys get out because they're only going to life flight the one guy out.
Damn, that's $100,000 bill.
But the crazy thing
I'm
is,
sure they're worried about the bill at this point.
right?
Guy just got dragged out by a freaking polar bear.
By his
The
head.
crazy thing is though, is this native where he's got the eye for it. He starts talking to one of the guys and he points out like 16 polar bears in the area. Yeah. He's like, there's one. Oh, up there on the ledge. Yeah, that's one. Like, and he's just, and they're just like, oh my gosh. And what it is they were saying because of the melting ice that polar bears have to come down to the beaches now to hunt. They can't hunt through the ice like they're used to. Right. And the time of year that they were dropped off was the time of year that the polar bears come down to the beaches. And so,
oh my gosh.
Somebody planned that out well.
right.
They're filling out.
But
Holy cow.
anyway, so that's just what that reminded me of as far as being dropped off. I'm like, that doesn't sound like a vacation. That sounds like survival. Like why would someone pay to do that?
I'd do it.
You said Chris would.
No thanks.
Did you ever see the movie The Edge
Yeah, I think
with
so.
Anthony Hopkins and
it's a good
Alec
movie.
Baldwin?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorites. That's a good survival. They're flying. It's in Alaska again, but they're flying in a little prop plane and fly into a flock of birds. And so their plane crashes and then they have to hike out and get out.
Oh, I think I have seen that.
It's a good movie. It's very unrealistic, but it's a good movie. It's a very good movie.
Why is it unrealistic?
That's just the way that, no. Anyway.
So back on the question, realistically, $100,000 on the table. You are offered to do Naked and Afraid. You have 2 months
He's
to
already
prep.
in.
$100 and he's in.
Sorry, $100. Who's in it for $100? Naked and Afraid.
I mean, I'd give it a shot, but doesn't mean I would win.
I'd need more than that because I'd have to compensate my income.
100,000.
100K?
Because Naked and
I'd do
Afraid,
it
you
for
can
100.
still tap
How
out
long
and
are
walk
you?
away.
I'd do it for 100K.
Is there stipulations like you have to stay in it for a certain amount of time?
Well,
I think, Naked and Afraid, what is it, 2 weeks?
something
1 week?
like that.
I don't know.
You said a week, didn't you? You said somebody picks you up for a week. Or no, you said you have 2 weeks to prep. That's what you said.
No, I said 2 months to prep.
2 months.
2 months to prep before you go on this Naked and Afraid.
And then you get $100,000 for 2 weeks of doing this.
I think it's 2 weeks, Jamie.
I'm looking now. Let's see here. I'm afraid of what might pop up.
I tried until
Do you have
lunch or
Safe
dinner
Search
time.
on? Safe Search has
know.
gotten loads better since we were kids.
playing. What is going on?
It doesn't even want to. It doesn't even want to search.
Naked and Afraid, sir. The authorities have been contacted, and your location has been reported.
While you look that up, just a comment. It's not a question, so we can stay on track. But I did have to just read this comment and give this person a shout out because it was great. Amy Kars, if I'm saying your last name right. It just says, this was for our last episode, Who Would Be More Likely To, where we were playing the card game. She commented on that and said, first one I've really watched, and OMG, I've been missing out. Going back to watch them all, my cheeks hurt from laughing so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love those compliments.
Right.
I know we're a little bit tired. I feel like we're a little tired tonight. I feel like we've all been beaten around.
Zach sure has.
Beaten off.
When I said that, I was like, that's a solid, way to say it.
Yep.
We've been beaten around.
Yep.
Oh, so Naked and Afraid, they have to go for 21 days.
All right, 3 weeks. 21 days, and what's the grand prize? Is it 100K? 3
money or
weeks.
prizes and survive. They're compensated for their time. Hold on.
So they're probably
They
compensated.
get the
for what they would
satisfaction of
get
knowing
paid.
they can survive in the wild naked and afraid for 21 days.
That's it?
They are compensated for their time / loss of work, and I believe it makes them eligible for Naked and Afraid XL.
Oh wow.
Otherwise, I do
Extra
not believe there's
large.
any cash or prizes.
Get out. This is like that stupid marathon that happened down in like, what was it, New York?
Oh yeah.
You guys remember that
get a
stupid
t-shirt.
marathon? All you get is a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Went on for like a month
That was
straight.
was that speed walk one or something?
You get bragging rights.
I don't know.
No, it was to see who could like run the longest or something,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
I thought
We
it was
looked
like
it up a long time ago.
Yeah, and I thought we
yeah.
were on the topic of like speed walking because it was like the definition of speed walking is both feet or
Only
like
one heel off the ground at
Yeah.
a time.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
That was the
don't know.
dumbest thing, dude. Oh my
No,
For $100,000, I'd do it.
Okay,
For
100
100
grand. Would you guys do it?
for $100,000 I
I'd
would
give
do
it a
it.
shot.
You'd really try for 100K? Dude, I'm legit. I'm like, I don't think I would.
It depends on where I'm being dropped
Could
at.
you imagine? Like,
It'd suck.
I don't want to be uncomfortable for 21 days.
Heck no.
I've been
I mean,
uncomfortable all my
I'd
life.
probably quit day one, but I'd give it a shot.
Dirt in your butt crack and
What if it's like what if
Seriously,
it's like
just wanting to
increments?
sit down, like, yeah, what if a bug bites you right
What
on
if
the
it's like
tip?
increments? First week is 10 grand, second week is 50 grand, and then third week is 100 grand.
Yeah.
I'd do it for $100,000. I'd make a mud cup when I went to bed at night. Just
Joke's on you. It's a
Case it
100
in
grand
mud.
candy
Yeah.
bar.
yeah, no joke. That's probably what they give him. That's probably exactly what they give him.
We'll give you 100 grand.
that'd be
Is
the
it
best
king
tasting
size?
candy bar at the end of the dime.
Is
though.
it king size?
Oh, that reminds me of that Hooters lawsuit. Did you see that?
No.
No.
There was a Hooters lawsuit
What for?
where they had a competition on who could sell the most beer within like a set time frame, and they would get a Toyota. So this girl went out and sold a ton of beer, and at the very end was handed a legit toy Yoda from Star Wars, not a toy Yoda truck.
Oh.
So she took him to court and ended up winning.
No.
Not only did she get the truck, but she also got like so much in wages.
Nice.
Atta girl.
It was-
Because that's stupid.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Like how,
I would be upset too.
the
That-
owners, could you imagine how smug they are? They're like, ha 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 ha, watch this.
We're going to boost sales.
Yeah. Oh, and here's your Toyota. Oh, you're gonna quit. Oh, boo hoo.
I had to wear my uniform from 3 years ago
Yep.
before I had my baby.
The Toyota lawsuit, 2001,
Oh, that was that long ago. Okay.
in
Holy
Panama
cow.
City, Florida.
Feels like yesterday.
Do you know how many?
I just saw it in my
years ago.
feed like two weeks ago.
You know how many wardrobe malfunctions she probably had to have?
Not very many.
Not enough. No, just kidding.
Only for the first couple, and then after that, things get hazy for
That's
the
true.
customers.
And then the customers are just like, oh. They think they're seeing things.
That's hilarious. That was 2001.
Yeah, dude.
Holy cow!
So recently in the news.
Yeah, in the news. we should do a news segment where we pretend like it's recent, but it's really like 10 years old.
That's a great idea.
Dude, everyone would listen to the start of it and then just run with it.
in
no
the
one
news.
would finish it.
Osama bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden was seen at a Starbucks in Kuwait
Saddam Hussein was hung today.
for the first time.
How many people would buy it?
I don't know, man.
Dude, here's one
Breaking
for ya.
news: the Titanic hit an iceberg.
That would
really
be actually,
good.
yeah. Like we share the story without telling the actual title, and then we say, "Oh, this was the Titanic." Like, ocean liner hits iceberg. Like hundreds of
No,
people
not even
die.
say iceberg. It's like
Yeah.
ocean liner sinks, hundreds die.
Yeah.
Like just because as soon as you say iceberg, like
Yeah, and it's all the fault of Joe Schwab,
JP Morgan.
J.P. Morgan. one of those banker guys.
we were all lost for a second.
I was like, is this an alternate reality that we're trying to spin?
I was
What's
waiting
going
for the
on?
rest of that.
Down the multiverse.
That's right. J.P. Morgan was
JP
the
Morgan.
dolphin, mesmerizer.
Oh my gosh.
Shakira. Shakira?
No.
Oh, who?
I was going to say, I legit just got breaking news on my watch.
What was it?
Anne Hesh. You guys know who Anne Hesh is?
Should I?
Yeah, she's actress, isn't she?
Actress.
What's she playing?
She died?
She did 6 Days, 7 Nights with Harrison Ford.
Oh yeah.
She's in a couple other big ones.
Who is it?
Oh yeah. That's
That's
Ellen's
ex-wife.
Oh, is that who it is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She went
yeah.
straight.
She
Just saying.
just
I
got
love
in
how you
a-
had to like side eye it, like
Course-
I hope
course
I don't get
corrected.
backlash.
No, she
mean,
just
isn't
got
Isn't that
in
weird
a,
how we're like the minority now? It's like
No.
now it's like don't you dare be straight.
oh no.
Moving on.
No,
Do tell.
no, I'm not sure what happened. I didn't have a chance to read it, but she just
Shut up.
she got in an accident and she's gonna die.
She's got suffered severe brain injury, not
Yep.
expected to survive.
No.
33 minutes ago.
Yep.
Well, I don't know who she is. So.
Wait, no. It happened more than that. So, like 8-9 hours ago.
That's
And
it
Hesh
just broke.
crashed. Yeah.
Just broke 30 minutes ago. Yeah.
And Hesh crashed, now being investigated as a felony.
right.
Oh, so it was a car
And
accident.
Hesh's blood test revealed the presence of drugs.
Oh.
And Hesh under influence of cocaine at time of car crash. Man, that's a lot of different. That just
Wow.
was CNN, Fox News, TMZ. Like those are all different. Just
That
headlines.
escalated quickly.
Yeah, it did. Jeez.
Got to get those clicks, man. Who cares about accurate reporting anymore? It's all about the most clicky title you can come up with.
It's true.
That's the one. I don't know much about it, but
No way.
I don't even know who she is.
Yeah, you
if I'm being
do.
honest.
Yes, you do.
I don't
know who
even
that
know
is.
who that is.
Either.
The only
Seen her.
thing I truly know her from is 6 Days, 7
Now, if
Nights.
you said Anne Hathaway,
She did the movie Rocky.
Yeah, now I know who we're talking about.
You just throw out a random name.
I love me some Anne Hathaway.
too.
She is.
Catwoman.
I have
You know.
I
She's
have
not
a
even
hard
the
time
best
finding her
Catwoman.
attractive because of how big of a biatch she is.
Who?
Is
What?
she?
Anne Hathaway.
She is.
Oh, I've heard she's a sweetheart.
I did too.
Oh, I've heard of
too.
In all the
I
porns
don't
I
know.
watched, she
kinda-
was.
Yes. Okay.
You
I
know,
mean, she was very nice as Catwoman.
She's just.
mean,
a
I actually
gorgeous-
really
Gave
like
that
her.
apple to the kid.
I really liked her in Devil Wears Prada.
I never seen
I have
that.
never watched
I
that.
love that movie, dude. So good.
Hey,
Meryl Streep was hilarious.
You got something in your throat, Cass?
just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm good.
Just a little one.
Did you
Okay.
guys hear Death Valley flooded?
What?
Death Valley
Valley?
flooded.
Like that, hottest place in America,
Yes.
Death Valley?
Get out. No,
That's
it
a-
didn't.
One of the
they
hottest
say
places in the
it's
world.
a 1 in 1,000 year event.
Shut
What?
up.
Wow.
And we can't get a single drop of freaking rain over here?
We
Bro,
do.
it's
We
been
got some
raining.
yesterday.
What are you
Monsoon.
talking about? Have you been outside?
Yeah, when?
We got
All
a lot
over.
of rain last night.
All over the weather.
There
It
was
said
no
caution,
water on
flash
the ground when I went
floods.
to work this morning.
So we've been up in the mountains camping a lot, and it's rained more in the mountains than I've seen.
Hallelujah.
Last
Hallelujah.
Saturday, Salt Lake had some flooding.
Lake Bonneville's coming back.
This bro's been living in another world.
Wow.
There's not been any rain when I've been outside.
They
at
not
all
have
this
that
wind.
week.
doesn't mean it's not raining.
Do they
It
not
does.
have windows where you
It
work or
does.
what?
There was no rain outside of our work.
You need to buy yourself one
Keep
of
you
those
in your
weather
cubicles.
You
rocks.
know how Utah is. You could literally be in a bubble of nothing when it's downpour. It's hailing in Salt Lake. It's
true.
And it's snowing in Ogden, and you're in the sun.
From one freeway exit to
Valid.
the other, you're
Yeah,
in
straight up.
like straight up rain and then nothing.
Yeah,
I was
You
actually
can have all 4 seasons in the same day here.
this last
Yeah,
winter. I
you
was
really
on the
can.
phone with one of my buddies who at work or whatever, and he was working the Layton route, and I'm in like South Ogden, and he's like, "Dude, I can't do this. It's like whiteout, complete whiteout right now." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's like sunny over here." And he goes, "It's not snowing," and I'm like, "No." He's like, "It's complete whiteout over here." He sent me a picture. I was like, "No." I sent him a picture, and I was like,
That's funny.
I have to check
You're in
weather
the wrong
cams.
Yeah.
world.
Well, I go
"Oh,
I go work in Salt Lake, and I have to check weather cams because it may look nice here, and it's just garbage down there, and I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Well, and once you hit friggin' the bend, you know
Right.
exactly what I'm talking about. It's terrible over there.
Right.
On the way to Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Yup.
Hey, what were you gonna say earlier, by the way?"
Oh, my girl Shakira.
Yeah.
Shrekira?
Shrekira, kind of hot. My girl Shakira faces
heard.
over 8 years in prison
Yes.
if convicted of tax fraud in Spain.
I
Don't go to
saw
Spain.
that.
So, do
Oh,
you
it's
think
in
she's
Spain?
still in Spain?
So I don't know.
With that kind of
Apparently-
money, I bet you she's out. I bet you she flew away.
Yeah, apparently let's see here. Spanish prosecutors have called for more than 8 years in prison and a fine of about 24 million for Shakira over alleged tax fraud.
Now that's in pesos, so it's like $50.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it's in Spain,
And
so
a
it's
pack of
euros.
cigarettes. How dare you?
$50 and a pack of cigarettes.
How much is that in USD, my good sir?
Euros?
It's euros, so it's like what, 26 or 27 million?
They're more, yeah. Euros worth more than the dollar.
Actually, no.
It did it drop?
No, it's almost exactly the same now
Wow.
across the board.
Let's go to Europe.
Don't Google it. Google.
Yeah, euros are now almost equivalent to USD.
Yeah, dude, a euro is worth $1.03.
Moving on up.
If that's,
Yeah.
So the
Either
I
that or both
learned,
of our economies are tanking.
Yeah.
Weird what happens when
No.
your
I learned
leaders
that if you
suck.
Google the exchange rate between certain currencies, it's going to be off a little bit because it's based off of like high dollar amounts, like $1 million type thing.
Wait, what?
How does that happen?
You're the banker. Explain.
Something to do with like once you get into the high dollar amounts, the exchange rate is different.
You get a better deal?
You get a worse deal. No, better deal. Sorry, yeah, better deal. Because we've had people come in upset because they're like
any sense.
they're like, Google says it's 0.5. You're telling me it's 1.1. Why is that? And it's like, well, because you're only getting $1,000 as opposed to the $1 million that Google thinks you're getting.
Man.
That still doesn't make any sense.
No.
'cause it's
Banks
still
already
like an
make money
exchange.
off your money. They make money off your money. Tricksty.
That's working for the man over there, bud.
Coming from the guy who works for Apple.
I think differently,
Yeah, you do.
according to you
Apple
know.
Farm. An apple farm.
They're not the man. They're
Oh, I'm
the
pretty
friggin-
sure we've mentioned.
Oh, I thought we hadn't.
Yeah, I work at an apple orchard. We sell very expensive apples.
His name's Johnny that.
And he sells
Johnny
seeds.
Appleseed.
Got some Granny Smiths over there.
I got my head went away. Bunch of different ways with that.
I saw a headline today that I thought was kind of interesting. Dustin Diamond, the guy who played Screech on
he's
Saved
dead.
by the Bell. Dustin Diamond's abandoned, trashed house finally sells after 2 years.
How much?
I heard he was a douchebag.
I heard that too.
I heard that too.
I heard that 3.
I heard that 5.
Who was number 4?
Oh my Helena Roosevelt.
See if it gives it
Someone in the audience was like,
sold for 200 So it sold on May 27th and it sold for
my birthday.
$276,400.
Oh, I would have
That's
bought it.
it?
That's it.
I would have made it a rental.
Did you just have pictures of him as Screech in it? Or
Screw you, Diamond.
It
had
said,
a closet full of his Screech shirts?
Said Dustin
Lisa in the
Diamond
corner.
owed $269,300
$69,000.
$269,326.
how could you be so bad with money? It infuriates me when there's these people that literally get millions of dollars and yet they end up more broke than the average American.
Well, here's
like
the deal.
athletes and stars and stuff
Oh,
that make a
it's
ton of money and
so-
they're
well,
broke.
They come
Stupid.
from nothing, and all of a sudden they have all this money that they just
Yeah.
spend
So-
it.
And they
go
don't
ahead.
ever take time to understand how to
Right. I
use money.
You heard what happened to like Allen Iverson, right?
No.
He's a huge one that had all the millions of dollars and then just went bankrupt, from what I understand. He had his reasoning was his following, had his crew, and he would pay his crew, so much money. And
his own
then
fault.
He kept giving them money, and then he ran out of the money, and his crew said, "Peace out." And his crew took off, and he was like left with nothing.
Like his
I heard-
buddies?
Huh?
His buddies?
They weren't
If
his
that's
buddies.
what you want to call him.
Well, I mean,
His
he thought
leeches.
were his buddies.
Yeah.
They were his leeches.
Yeah,
His
that's what a lot of these
his entourage.
It's his entourage. This is what a lot of these guys do is they
Like,
get
wait,
this
can I get
entourage or
$100?
these buddies who hang out with you all day long, and you pay them. Yeah, here, go take this. Oh, you go get lunch for everybody.
being
Here's
their
my
sugar
credit
daddy?
card.
See,
Pretty
I-
much, yeah.
I heard Will Smith was similar, that he made a ton of money off of being Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and then being young and dumb, spent it all, I don't know if he had to file bankruptcy or was on the verge of it, but that's why he did the TV series Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, was to get his money back.
His rap career couldn't catch up.
Yep.
Makes
Wow,
sense.
Learned
that's
his
wild.
lesson.
Dude, we should do a whole podcast on these.
It's always you.
We should legit do that.
Who you actually keep your phone not on silent?
When I'm not at work.
Really?
I'm the same way.
I don't have my phone on.
My phone is on silent 24/7.
It does show.
Legitimately.
I hate it going off. Drives me nuts.
Legitimately. I just pinged them in Messenger and I was like, hey, Cam's picking up Beto's tonight. You guys want anything? And Tony's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, message him. He's not going to see this.
No, that's
Well,
perfect.
I had to do the same thing when I was setting up for our wrestling event that we're going to. I literally had text and I'm waiting. And all of a sudden, finally, I just text Cam just separately, and I'm like, hey, I sent this whole thing on Messenger. You probably haven't looked at it.
Yep.
We want to go to wrestling. Do you want to go? Literally 2 seconds, and Cam wrote me right back. And I was like,
Text messages are so much better.
Dick.
I saw.
What's the difference?
I don't need Facebook having all our conversations. Bunch of
Hey,
creeps.
I saw this thing today, and it was
Text
a hash.
messages are
It was on.
encrypted.
You're not
It
saying.
was on Google, and it said #GetTheMessage, and it said what we need to do to get Apple and Android working nicely together
Yeah, it'll
for
never
text
happen.
message.
Yeah.
I wish, man. It would
It'd
be so awesome.
great, but it'll never happen.
So backing up on the money, like rich people and being dumb with money.
We should do a podcast on it. Like a legit, let's have an
Yeah.
entire podcast on rich people that lost all their crap.
Lost it all. I like
I was
it.
just gonna. It's a pet peeve of mine in my line of work, just because sometimes I get people who make dang good money. They come in for a loan, I pull their credit, and their credit's crap. It's like in the gutter, and it's like, how do you? I don't know. Like it
Credit's
makes me.
a dumb system though too.
It truly is. It really, really is. But it's still. It's like to me. It's like
Why is it dumb?
Well, because the
Just
only way
the
to
thing-
build credit is to have debt.
Okay, that part of it.
And half the time, it takes forever to get anyone to give you any kind of debt so that you can even build credit.
Yeah.
Well,
it's kind of like applying for a job and saying, "Sorry, you can't be hired because you need experience." It's like,
But to
why?
get experience, we need to hire you.
but
Yeah.
I get it in the sense, yeah.
Well, it's also the loophole for people to make money because you're not going to get credit without going into debt and
Right.
making regular payments, which means you're paying other people money.
Well, all you got to do is have a credit card that you pay off every month.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
exactly.
credit card
People
paid
don't
off.
understand
Exactly, but that
but-
shouldn't be a thing.
And a lot of banks won't approve you for a credit card
Well, you
if you
can
don't
always-
have credit.
But you can always buy stuff. Just go buy it then. Like, because they have to, you have to have some way of knowing that somebody's going to pay their debt back, and that's how they do it.
Well, it's so
Maybe it needs to
stupid
be
in the
revamped.
fact that, okay, so prime example. Like Dave Ramsey, right? He's got all this cash. He's got a 0 credit score because he pays and buys everything
Uses cash
with
everywhere.
cash.
right.
So if he were to go in and apply for an apartment and like, hey, I want to stay in your apartment. Sorry, we can't lease this apartment to you. You have 0 credit. But the dude's got millions in the bank.
But he doesn't need to, though.
But that's the point. That's
yeah.
how stupid it is. They don't
Yeah.
take into account that you literally have no debt to your name.
And
Meaning
you're such a
financially-
responsible person. You're
Okay.
for sure going to pay your rent.
Okay,
In
but
that
in
aspect, I get it.
An argument there, though, is in some cases they can use assets. So if he were to say, like, I have 0 credit, but here's bank statements showing that I have millions of dollars. Oh, okay, sign here. Like, so.
But who knows that? I didn't know that until just now.
Well, it's true.
That's what I'm saying.
But like I get Chris's argument too. Like the idea in quotations of credit is smart because it shows that track record. It's kind of like going to college and saying, "Look, I got all these good grades, so now can I have the job?" type thing. And it's kind of the same thing. It's a track record to show that you know how to pay bills and that you're responsible with bills and everything like that. But on your guys' argument, I get that it is stupid that the people who have fantastic credit probably have a ton of debt. They're just smart with the debt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get that.
so it's like you're rewarded for not being good with money, kind of.
Well, you're
Irresponsible.
Good. You're good
Yeah.
at or responsible debt. I mean, like
It
I
depends,
said.
though.
Yeah, you're
'Cause,
paying
like,
it back,
gonna say,
but
whoa,
you
whoa,
also
whoa.
don't have enough money.
I'm responsible with my money.
Do you feel personally attacked?
I just a little bit.
Then you're not
Why?
being responsible.
That's something you need to deal with.
I missed the part that was an attack.
That's the point.
It's because one of us said you're being irresponsible going into debt, and he's like, "Well, I
And
feel
he went,
attacked."
I identify with this person, therefore they are talking about me.
I'm sorry, but if you feel attacked, you're probably being
I was
irresponsible
coming after
with
you
money.
because you made a blanket statement.
No, but
You can have great credit and be responsible with your money.
Yes.
yeah.
But you can also have crappy credit and be even more responsible with your money. Or you can be irresponsible with your money and have good credit.
Okay.
That's what I'm
if your
saying.
debt
is
to
the
income
system
ratio-
is
Or you
not
can be
perfect
fantastic
in
with
any
your
way.
money.
Because
Yeah.
doesn't debt to income affects your credit
Yes.
too? So if you've got
A little bit.
just a little bit, that should be a big thing.
Because credit doesn't look at income.
No.
So debt to income doesn't affect your credit.
just got
It's
told
more balance to limit.
See why it's done?
Okay.
Also,
So credit cards, if your balance goes over 30% of whatever your limit is, it's going to start to actually hurt your credit.
Right.
Even if you're making your monthly payment on time.
Yeah.
So 30 to 50% of whatever your limit is, you're still doing okay. But if you go over 50% of whatever your credit card limit is, even if you're making your monthly payment on time, it's actually hurting your credit because now it's showing the credit bureaus that, hey, look, he's almost maxing out his credit cards. He's showing signs of struggle. Let's dock him.
Yeah. So
see
even if,
again, it's stupid.
so even if you only have one credit card to your name and it says a credit limit of $5,000 that you've had for 20 years and you go over that limit to $2,501, so you're over the halfway mark, all of a sudden your credit gets dinged.
See, and
Even
that's,
though
even
you've
though
never
you
missed a
can easily
payment,
pay
always
for
been
it,
on
hit your
time, you
credit
have
back.
the
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
see, and the other frustrating thing too is the amount of things you have on your credit also may hurt or help you depending, because if you think of it like a fraction, you have 5 things on your credit and one of those goes delinquent. That's a fifth of your credit that's hurting you. Where if you had 100 things, now that's only like a fraction. Like
Well,
the
another
1%.
prime example is when we were going to buy our other house. If those of you tuning in, we're still in the old house recording this stuff, so that might be a little confusing. Anyway, so when we went to buy our other house, our new house, I have a credit card for the Happy Day apparel that I literally will like pay off in full, but it's just to make big purchases of like apparel.
Right.
So I will make a huge purchase and that'll go over the halfway threshold mark. And then literally I'll get a notification from the bank saying, oh, your credit has gone downward. And I'm like, what
You've
the
dropped
heck?
some points.
What the heck are you talking about? And so I'll log in and sure enough, it shows like a 30-point dip. 30 points.
Mine will do that sometimes.
Yeah,
So-
but if you pay it off within the month, it goes right back up again.
Well, but if they ping it in the middle of the month when it's the debt's there until it's paid off,
Right.
because that was the problem I was running into is I was like, crap, I gotta literally like find
He's
the
trying to buy a
balance
house.
to buy a house.
And he just
Gotcha.
dropped 30 points.
I got
So
you.
That's
I'm
why
like,
they.
okay.
That's why they tell you when you're buying a house,
Don't
don't
do
do
anything.
anything.
See, that's
Right.
that's the issue. Is this? It's such a convoluted and confusing system that nobody really gives you an exact answer on, and you can't find the
Oh, yeah.
correct answers everywhere. And there's 3
all-
companies, and then there's the combination of the FICO. Like,
Well, that's-
just
It's all
so
he said,
ridiculous.
Well, and then there's 3 different
raise your
credit
limit.
bureaus.
And they have different
All
numbers.
3 of them are different scores.
What the
It's
heck?
like
Well, that's
stay on the same
Okay.
page.
But I had that problem too, and I raised my limit on my credit card, so that way it would never get.
And that's why sometimes I tell people that it's like, you know what, you instant approve for a 20,000. Like they come in, it's like, I want a $10,000 credit card, and it's like, well, you instant approve for 20, and then I'll explain that to them. It's like, let's do the 20. I know you don't need that much, but hear me out, and I'll explain it that way.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're responsible with it and don't max it to the 20 and you just use it when you need it type thing, you've got that breathing room and it's going to show that you're only using a fraction of what your limit is.
Right.
And
That's
so
how. Yeah.
I'm all for maxing out whatever you're qualified for, but don't max out the limit.
Because it doesn't hurt you unless you max out your card.
Right.
You know, it's even better when you get in trouble for paying something off.
Yeah.
We were in the middle of
Yeah, you lose
refinancing our
points.
house.
That's an 8. American Express, huh?
Well, no, we
Those suckers.
we had purchased a spin bike or whatever. I can't. And we had they had a thing where it was like 18 months, no interest. You know, sign up for this thing with the bank or whatever, and like we were like, okay, great, and it sets it up an automatic payment. So within 18 months, anyways, you're going to pay it off. And I'm like, well, that's great. Until we can get taxes back, we'll just do that and make monthly payments. And then when taxes come back, I'll just pay it off. We did that. And then in the middle of refinancing, I paid it off. I just was like, well, I got the money. Here you go. Pay it off. And the person over our refinance, she calls me up. She goes,
What'd you do?
did you just pay off a thing or whatever? And I with this, I can't remember what bank it was, with this bank. And I said, yeah, why? And she goes, what is it that you paid off? And I said, it was a stupid spin cycle. It was like,
Get off my back,
it
Mom.
was like a $1,200 spin cycle or whatever that we had. I said, I just had the money and I paid it off. She goes, you're not supposed to touch anything. She's like, you don't pay it off. You don't get anything new. You don't do anything like that. And she's like, now I need all the information. What did you pay off? Why did you pay it off?
Wait, why did you get all this information?
Where'd you get the money?
This is why it's so
Why did you
stupid.
get the loan to begin with? And why did you pay it off?
Why
Like,
did they need to know this?
it wasn't them. It was who they're trying to get the loan through. It's
To
the credit.
refi your
It's the
house?
creditors and the bureau and all. Yeah,
Tell them to shove it.
This is part of
that's
the
what they
issue with
needed.
it.
I had to supply all that information before they could submit it to underwriting.
You're
to get everything.
literally having to justify doing something good.
Yep.
Doing something that they want
And
you
it's
to
like,
do,
wait
which
a
is
minute,
give them back their money.
I just
Okay, you
freed
guys
up my
went
cap
screw
on my
credit.
on
I
my
told
debt.
you.
No, they don't want you to give them back their money. They want you to give them back
See?
their money with interest.
This is
You
the
know, I just had this conversation with a car dealership because I was talking about it with my father-in-law, and he said, he's like, you ought to ask them if they'll give you some kind of deal if you just buy the car outright instead of financing it. And I was like, well, I don't see them giving me a deal because they're going to make money off of me financing it. And he made a good point though. He's like, yeah, but by you paying them just up front with it, they're guaranteed that money. There's no chance of the loan defaulting or anything like that. I'm like, oh, you make a good point there. Because how many people finance and then end up having their cars repossessed, and now the dealership's losing money because they have to auction it and they're not making
but then they
that.
just resell it. Like,
Well,
how far into it were you into the car when it got repossessed, and they sell it again for
Right.
more than that?
Yeah.
it's true. It happens.
Well,
But-
my buddy, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say on the whole paying things off, really, we try and tell people that too. Because when they come in and it's like, I need to get this car, but I'm going to turn her. He's like, I don't want to, or they're like, I don't want to miss out on the sale of this car, but I'm going to sell my other car. And when I sell my other car, I'm just going to pay this one off. So it's going to be paid off in like a month. And we'll tell them, it's like, honestly, I know it sucks, but credit wise, I would make at least 6 months of payments, 6 to 12 months of payments just to save your credit. Because if you get the loan and then
You
turn
wanna
right
get
around
our
and pay it
interest.
off, it's stupid.
Yeah.
See, and I have a buddy who we were talking about this the other day, like buying a car with cash, and he was saying, he's like, you go to the dealership, you act like you don't have cash, you act like normal, you know, you haggle with them, you get them to bring that price down as far as you can, and then you go, oh, also anything else to take off? If I just buy it in cash. Because then they can't renege and go like, oh no, actually it's 10,000 more because of the cash. It's like, no, we already came to a price. I want to buy it with cash. I got it right here.
That's a good point.
or you just take the loan out and then pay it off.
Well, they bring it down because they make a ton of money in financing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
and
That's
in
why
some
you talk him
cases-
out of it, and then you're like, "Oh, surprise, cash."
And it's kind of, in some cases, they get a kickback, for like where they're financing it too. They
heck
have
yeah.
partnerships
That's the
with.
thing. I think the most bummer thing you learn as you get older is, you know, you want to believe in the good of companies or people, and like, okay, you know, they're doing something for their customer, whatever. It's all BS. None of them will do anything if it does not benefit them in some way.
That's that totally brings up Apple in my
Oh,
head.
100%.
Because Tony hit me up back when he was shopping for phones, and he was looking at the Apple for
13.
Life, the Apple for Life,
yeah.
Through
Uh-huh.
was that Sprint?
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile.
and it was like he was telling me about it, and I'm like, okay, something here's not adding up, because they're not just going to give you a new phone without paying for it. Like there's definitely a way
Yep.
that you're going to end up paying for it. You're not just going to get a free phone upgrade every year.
right.
You're going to pay the difference or more. And so I actually looked into it. I'm like, yeah, this is the case.
And that's totally the carrier. Like they're totally
They're playing a numbers
taking
game.
off. Exactly.
100%.
Well, because what they're
You're
doing
not
is you're
getting a deal.
technically leasing the phone.
So you never
And
own it.
You get to a point, if you don't trade it in and you want to keep it, you have to buy out of it, at which point the buyout price is usually somehow more than what you would have
List
paid.
price of it. Yeah.
Like with your payments on the lease plus the buyout, you're paying more than the phone actually was worth.
Right.
And
Another
they say
thing,
it's no interest.
Oh, I hated that plan.
one other thing with credit that drives me nuts, kind of on the credit card thing, is if you have a dormant credit card, it hurts you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Use it.
So if you,
No, it doesn't.
No.
Like a store card? I've heard that if you say like Kohl's, for example, if you have a Kohl's card that you took out 10 years ago to get the deal and
you
then
never
never
use
touched it again.
If that's the case, my credit would be in the shitter.
Yeah, because I have an
Because
Amazon card that I hadn't used for 5
I've got
years.
like
Oh.
15 credit cards under my names that I don't use.
Well, look at you, Mr. Credit Card.
Dude, I've got some credit cards
I
up and
get
hibernating
them.
for
400
years.
is not a high number. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's totally a joke.
Real
I
quick.
get them. I get them for the 18-month to 24-month no interest, and we use it to buy stuff and have the no interest. And then once that no interest period is up, I throw the credit
You don't
card away. I pay
cancel
off
them?
and no,
You don't cancel them.
I just throw it away.
See, because I've
I
heard
mean, in the long
and then
run,
they
it
sent
should
their
help
empty.
because then if you have 15 cards, your credit limits are so high that your 30% is a much bigger number.
Right.
See,
I
what
have some
about
sitting.
closing credit cards then?
See, I've
That's
heard,
what
I've heard it's
if
bad
you
too.
close them, that's where it hits
See, I've
you.
never had a problem with closing.
Oh, see, that's the rumor
See,
I've
I
heard.
almost wonder if yours
Convoluted,
doesn't.
confusing.
I almost wonder if yours doesn't hurt you because you have so many. Because you've got like 20 trade lines
Credit
on
is
your
dumb
credit.
luck. That's all it is.
He's like who's that guy on Seinfeld? He pulls out his wallet. It's just like thick.
George Costanza.
Yeah, Costanza wallet, man. Could you imagine how thick that wallet would be?
You are more susceptible to fraud, though.
Yeah,
having
you are
all those.
definitely.
That's why I have alerts on every single
Two-step
one of them still.
verification on everything.
Which one is this one? The one ending in 4982.
It's actually
one's
funny.
that one?
He's got an old trading card book.
There's
All the dust
Like a
off
CD
it.
stack, like
With the clear pages, card in each one. You can see both
There's-
sides.
there is some companies that have actually sent me letters saying that we've canceled. You haven't used it in a long
Right,
time.
I
We've
get that.
canceled for you.
And you
Dormant
write
canceled.
somebody who's like, "No, you didn't."
Did you send him on a typewriter? Please tell me you typewriter
The best,
and then mailed it away.
the best part is
with
though,
one of those green
A visor?
visors.
Yes.
That's like-
He's got that vest with
All right,
weird
Shane.
stretchy thing on his arm.
Well, the best part is though is when they turn around and cancel me. I'm like, sweet. Now I can look into getting another credit card with you for another intro rate again.
You know what I always find funny about those is like I'll have a credit card with a company, say like American Express, whatever, and I'll get a mail from them like later, and they're like, "Hey, you're pre-approved for this card." It's like I already have your
I already
card.
have that card.
And sometimes they'll send me the same one. I'm like, "All right, I have that."
Uh huh.
Do you guys not have records? Like, what's going on here?
I have a Discover It card, and I constantly in the mail get one. You are pre-approved for our Discover
You're
It
like,
card.
you
And I'm
don't
like,
say.
I already got one.
That's
Super
go ahead.
pre-approved.
The only time I open another credit card is if they'll do like you get 50% off your purchase if you open a credit card. I'm like, all right, and then I'll just pay it off.
Well,
and then-
that's we just
it
got our
sit.
last one, a Capital One card, because they offer
hassle.
Adventure.
no.
That's a great card.
Sapphire.
I can't remember which one it is. But
Don't
go
so
hungry.
many, dude.
there
There's
is.
so
We're
many.
not sponsored by any of these. Do not get a credit card.
We got
Yeah.
it because it was like when you first spend over $500
I
in
bet
like
you
the
there's
first three.
so many credit card ads on this episode. I bet you there's so
There's
many.
gonna be,
dude.
but it
And
was
this might
like
be one of our highest paying videos to date.
But
Creditors are like, yes!
keep it clean.
right?
Throw the ads!
Keep it clean.
But no, it was like spend $1,000 in the first 3 months, get a $300 credit.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, okay. And then for every like,
I got
you get a 6% back up to $500 after that too. So we've just been putting all the gas that we've been buying. We just put it on that card.
Yeah.
And literally I have gotten like almost $400 back just in.
Well, see, there is if you can utilize the tools, you can, in a way, like take advantage of what they're doing.
Oh, I take advantage
So-
of Amazon. No,
And
nobody's business.
Another thing I've heard actually, and this does make total sense. You should use a credit card instead of a debit card
Yes.
at all times, because if someone steals your debit card number and they take a bunch of money out of your account, you're screwed. The bank's like, "Oh, we tried, we got some of it back, but
It's
that's
still
it."
covered.
That's
It's
not
still-
right
yeah,
because
it's
it's
still
federally
covered.
insured.
Right.
Up to $100,000.
But so what if you have more than that?
Well,
What
if
if
you
you
have
had
more than that in a
$200,000?
checking account, you're stupid.
That's
That
where
needs
it's
to be
at.
making
That's the
you
thing,
money.
though. See,
But it's still a Visa card. Well, depending on where it's at, it's still a Visa card. It's a Visa debit card, so it's still backed by Visa.
You're watching too many
because that's
TikToks.
what, no. I have had my card stolen, and they haven't been able to get all of the charges back.
Ditch
before.
that bank.
That's because you
America
accidentally
first.
sign up. That's because you accidentally sign up for a subscription, not realize it. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know what it is. I don't work for them, but regardless, if your credit card number gets stolen, and they're stealing money from the credit card company,
Right.
and they're gonna fight with all their resources to get it back.
You know who's really awesome?
You
Chase
are.
Bank.
Oh.
I had
Why?
a buddy who had his credit card stolen, and they took $500, bought something or whatever. They tried to, anyways, long story short, they called up Chase. They filed the thing for it. Chase credited them the $500 plus an extra $500. And
that's where my
his,
$500
he was
went.
like, sweet, and then his wife's feeling really guilty. And so
She's the
called,
one who stole it.
she called him up and she's like, hey, I just want to let you guys know that you debited our account, debited our account like an extra $500. Credited. There we go. Thanks, Tony. You credited our account an extra $500, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, well, just enjoy it. Have a good day." And she's like, "Wait, are you serious?" And she's like,
That
"Yeah,
person
that's
got fired.
Just go
No, I'm
ahead."
just kidding.
So,
See, that's like putting your shopping cart back.
See, and then they're like, "See, that's how you get customers
Shows
for life."
character.
Idiots.
well, it's funny when my buddy told me, I was like, "Man, I wish my credit card would get stolen."
It's not hard. It's really not hard.
Dude, it's a
No,
pain
so-
in the butt.
So real quick on the those things saying you're pre-approved, those credit card things. Did you know that credit bureaus sell your credit to those places, and that's how they know you're pre-approved?
That's
stupid.
Can you
That
stop them
makes
from
sense.
doing that?
Yeah, there's a website you can
LifeLock.
go to.
Yeah.
What is it?
Not a sponsor.
Opt out or something? I heard that
Yeah,
you could do like
it's like
opt out.
because you can call
you can
like
send
1-800.
all your information to my personal email, and I will make sure
Yep.
that your information is
Good luck,
correctly.
my account's empty.
There's a
why
there is a
they'll just make
website.
new
It's like
ones.
opt out something, and it's good for two people for 5 years.
Oh no!
Oh, you have to do it every 5 years?
Yeah.
That's stupid. They
Thing
should.
done,
It
you
should be the
forget.
other way that you opt in for that.
Make sure to give them your social
Yeah.
security number while you're at it.
But again,
Just the last 4.
it's not meant to be easy for you, but for the people who are making money off you.
Sunset.
What a bunch of dicks.
Well, two things back on that. When you were saying people come in and their credit's terrible, but they make a ton of money. I remember when I was a teller, there was this couple that would come through. He was a doctor. She probably a stay-at-home mom. I don't know. But she drove this really awesome car. And I always joked every time she'd come through, I'm like, I want to drive your car. And she, like, one day she was like, I'll let you. And then I never did. Anyway, but I remember the one time they actually came to my window and I, was depositing their money and I looked at their bank account. I'm like, dude, I have more money in my bank account than you guys have in your bank
Yeah,
account.
that's because his was probably an offshore account and all
Nah,
that.
man. I
Sweet
saw
fun.
those transactions. He didn't have money. He had a lot of debt.
See, and then I'm on the flip side when I see how some people spend their money and like they'll get declined a couple times or they'll try this card. I wish I could just be like, you shouldn't be doing this. Clearly you're not making great decisions.
Have a nice day.
About finances. Maybe come back later.
We get people like come in for it's like, didn't you just get declined a month ago? Yeah, but now I've really got my stuff together. It's been a month. Like, what can you do?
confident.
No, you don't understand.
I got a new job.
I got
It's
my
like,
stuff
okay,
together.
that right there, get out.
How many people?
You've been at the job for 30 days.
How many
Get
people come in getting pissed off because they get like overdraft fees? How many people do you get? Coming?
I remember those people.
To be honest, it's actually not as many as you think.
Wow,
we
that's
get
good.
more of the sob story than the angry people.
Is there a way to block that so they just if there's no money in there,
It
they're
just
just
doesn't go
like
through.
don't go through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I always
then
thought that was
they're
the
not making
dumbest thing. I
but
know.
it's only for debit transactions.
I always thought that was the dumbest thing.
Unfortunately, there's like some kind of law that it's like checks, credit, bill pay, like automatic stuff. Those
See-
have to go through.
When we got ours, I can't remember who we got it through. The line of credit or whatever it was.
Right.
They were actually pretty smart. I wasn't going to do it. They were like, "Do you want a line of credit and stuff?" And I was like, "No." don't need that. Like,
I'll never go negative.
And that's what my mentality is, because I don't. I pay so much attention to my account. I don't go in the negative. And she looked at me and she was like, honestly, she's like, I'm not saying you will. She goes, but you know how many people I get who come to me and say that they went in there because they accidentally clicked the submit button twice or whatever on their home loan, and it takes the money out double.
Idiots.
And she's like,
I blame the website designer. Right? That's a bunch of crap.
But she was just like, it gets corrected, but then all of a sudden, bam, it gets through twice, and all of a sudden, if you don't have that line of credit, somehow it gets canceled, and then you're late on your payment and all this stuff. She's like, my
How are you
suggestion
late on your
is,
payment if you submitted twice?
well, she just said my suggestion is
credit sucks.
she's like, take your house payment, $1,500, whatever it is, and she said, and add a couple $100 on there, and that should be your line of credit.
I tell people that, but I tell them because it's like, what if you lose your job? Like
That too.
You just never know. What if you lose your job? Most people, a mortgage payment is the highest payment. Everything else, you might be able to skip a month or talk to your finance person. But it's like your mortgage sometimes is pretty strict and you need that mortgage payment. You have that one line of credit to buy you a month at least until you can hopefully get another job.
You got to pay it back. I'm selling that bitch.
Right. That's when, like on our previous one, that's when you burn it.
Home.
That's when you burn it down for the insurance money.
Right, exactly. Yeah. We got to delete this podcast now. They can't know.
They know.
How many of you planned
Mr.
on
Birch,
tuning
your
in?
house burns down shortly after you lost your job.
My trailer's
that's
my
gotta be.
That
contingency
is 100% a coincidence, sir.
How many of you tuned in expecting a financial chat for an hour?
We
Down
are
in the comments.
bunch of old men, man.
dude.
I hope
Hey,
you guys learned something
Here's the
today
thing,
about credit
how many
scores.
of you had no idea about all this crap?
I wanted to bring up, but we're already running too long on this one. But the whole medical industry, how they had all those laws that passed where now things have to have a price.
Good.
Did you guys see all that stuff that went through?
Wow.
Like surgeries and things like that, or what?
I think I heard something about it, but I
So
never.
now there are acts now where you can go in and ask what a thing will cost.
Right.
It's because if you're going to pay with cash, you need to know how much to pay. And if they go over that,
That's their
You're not
fault.
responsible.
that's on them.
See, and I've
right on.
heard so many messed up stories about people who, if you call the freaking hospital when they're trying to charge you $5,000 or whatever, and you're like, "Hey, I'd like an itemized bill,"
They won't
and
give
all of
it
a sudden
to
it
you.
drops down to $3,000.
Right.
It's like, what the freak is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I called on a bill. It was when Reggie
Well,
fell
our
down.
mistake. We hit too many zeros.
When Reggie fell down the stairs, we were paying one of the emergency bills for that. And I asked the lady, she was like getting ready to run my credit card and everything. And I was like, if I pay it all in full right now, do I get any kind of discount? And she said, you said the magic words.
What, discount or
Just by paying it in full.
Paying in full.
But the thing that pissed me off is she can't bring it up.
Yep.
She had to wait for me to
Right.
ask.
Yep.
And I was like, that is such a
that's
bunch
how-
of bull, man.
I would write it on a receipt or something and just be like,
Well, that's how in my fiasco, I did the same thing because it was $14,000. No one would help me. And then I said, finally, when I was getting ready to pay it, I said, I'm going to pay this in full. Can you help me out that way? And she goes, why, yes, I sure can. I will give you a 10% discount right now if you pay it in full. And I
Make
said,
it 20B.
I said, great. But yeah, if I wouldn't have said anything, she would have just let me pay it. Because they can't offer that.
that's
You know what you do, and then you slip them a Benjamin underneath the table and say, "Now what can you do?"
Can I get the
Can you
suite?
make it a 50% discount?
So
Have you heard of George Washington?
And his friend George Washington.
she's like, that's Jackson. Oh no, sorry, wrong one.
George Washington is feeling left out of the party, wants to join his buddies.
Best commander we've ever had.
through my health insurance, if you can call it that, you actually have to ask up front for the discount because that's part of the whole shindig. Gotcha.
Really?
See again.
I have to
none of it's
say
out
in
for
that
us.
in that conversation, total side note, but in that conversation, she was getting Reggie's information, and she asked, "What's his date of birth?" But it kind of glitched the phone call at that point, and I was like, "What's his favorite bird?" Like, I'm like, that's a new one.
She's like, 10% for making me laugh.
That would have been hilarious.
She
What's his
lost
day?
it. She was
seagull?
gone on the. She was gone on the other end, and I'm because I legit for a
Tweety?
second I'm like. The kid
this a
is only
security
like
question?
The kid is only like 8 months old. How on earth
doesn't
would
even
he
know-
know a favorite
know what a
bird?
bird
Actually, it's the cardinal.
That would
The
have been
middle,
hilarious.
the middle finger? I don't know.
An African swallow.
An unladen African swallow.
I really wonder what she would have done if she would have been like, "What's his date of birth?" A canary?
Seagull?
Seagull?
Sir, are you having a stroke?
Do you need medical
Swallow,
attention?
swallow, African swallow, European swallow. All right, that's enough for tonight,
What's
guys.
your favorite color? Blue. No, green. Ah!
It's Monty Python.
Yeah, Monty Python Holy Grail.
I haven't seen it.
What is your
What?
quest?
I love that.
It amazes me what movies you guys haven't seen.
What?
Actually, no.
Resident movie buffs.
I take that back.
Whoa, don't put me in that.
Okay.
I take that back. I did see it once and thought it was stupid.
How many coconuts?
Jess and I just watched it like 4 months ago.
I need to watch it again. I definitely. But
The part where he runs in and he starts cutting everyone. Yeah. Oh my god, dude! I died laughing. I was like, "This is prime comedy. This is so good." He's got big teeth.
We are the Knights who say me.
We are no longer. We are no longer the knights that say "knee." We are the knights that say.
See, this to me is like what you when you guys go off on tangents on Christmas vacation. I'm like, yeah, not funny, but I still want to watch it with you
What
guys.
is it? Oh. To use the royal hand grenade, one must count to the number 3. Once 3 is the number upon which is counted, not 2, not 4, but 3, the number which precedes 4. Thou shalt pull the pin and throw.
Doesn't the guy pull the
One,
pin like in the middle of
2,
that?
4. 3, my lord. 3.
It's so dumb.
The
It's good.
comedy is so dumb that it's funny.
yeah, I need to give it a shot again.
Maybe a flesh wound.
Give us all your best
out by
quotes down in the
Jackal.
comments.
We didn't touch on one of the biggest things in the news right now.
Oh, what was
Oh,
that?
what is that?
Trump got raided by the FBI.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you guys saw one of our fans used our. Did you see it?
No.
Oh, pull up Facebook Messenger, my good friend. One of our friends on the tribe used our clip from when we were trying wedding dresses on years ago, and they put it to some funny music, and then said when the FBI when they raided Melania Trump's closet or whatever, and it's us dancing around in wedding dresses. Dude, it's so good. It's so
Oh my
good.
gosh.
Wasn't it the like?
And it's us dancing in the wedding dresses.
Yes.
So good, man. That was seriously, I was like, that is
Someone put it
amazing.
on TikTok?
There's
That's
another
beautiful.
one where it says Hunter Biden. He's looking out Hunter Biden's face when he sees that the FBI passed his house to go raid Trump's or something like that.
In all seriousness, though, and I don't know who you vote for. It doesn't matter. The fact that the FBI has to raid an ex-president's house, we're in hard times.
What was that for, though?
It's
Why did they
so
do
bad.
it for?
Because he supposedly has classified documents hidden
Suppose
somewhere.
I read an article today. I don't
so
know
are
enough.
Are they going to raid the Clintons next then?
F no.
They deleted it.
They deleted it.
Oh, that's right. They deleted all the classified
They showed up
documents.
with the mustaches on, and they're like, "I am FBI Director Georgina."
They don't even. We're forbid. What is that? It's FBI. Oh, we're FBI.
No, I read something that said allegedly they were looking for nuclear documents, and no answer has been shared whether or not they actually found anything.
Again, they got the wrong house. They're looking for Hillary Clinton. Throwing that out there.
Oh, they know, but they don't want to get suicided.
Oh, that's okay. All right, that
FBI
makes
searches
sense.
under documents proving Hillary's felonies to find Trump's made-up felonies. Who knows? I mean, again, there's just too much up in the air. I mean, I'm no diehard to the point of if something legitimate is found, obviously, like
There should
I'm
be
on the side of law and
consequences.
justice.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, like the thing is they never. It's all smoke and mirrors. They never give you a straight answers to
they
what's
find
going on or what
anything?
they're looking for, or what they even found.
There's no answers yet.
Not
as to
that
what-
I've seen. I don't know.
They found Austin and Cam dancing around in a wedding dress.
Dude, she's probably got some cool dresses.
Freaking hilarious.
Okay.
You know what it is? It's like you said, it's smoke and mirrors.
All right.
Basically,
And why
there's
Mar-a-Lago?
something going on over here, but they're saying, ooh, look over here. We're raiding Trump's house, but don't look over here.
But I'm
What's
not-
going on over
At
here?
the same time, I'm not dumb enough to get blinded by like either side because both sides do some stupid
Oh,
crap.
dude.
Yeah,
You're
all
very
he
true.
has to do to
100%.
get blinded is, hey, look, a new tool.
Hey, look, antlers.
Elk.
6 to midnight.
A new gun.
I like tools.
I was going to say,
I use them though.
It's either that or Lisa lifts her shirt up. I mean, one or the other.
I'd rather have a gun.
One way or another, something's going on.
Either way, I'm going bang.
There you have it, friends.
There we go.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. It was all over everywhere. We
Oh
don't even.
my gosh.
I couldn't even tell you where this podcast
Good luck
started.
finding a name.
Yeah, no joke, man. Financial advice from idiots. That's what we're gonna.
There you go.
That's it.
5 idiots. So anyway,
5 idiots financial advice.
man. Anyway.
Hashtag.
But you know what? Some of it was helpful.
Chimps did my taxes. Hashtag chimps did my taxes.
That's a long one.
That is a long one.
They better be paying attention.
Hashtag.
I mean,
Hashtag random.
no, hashtag Experian.
I never get a
Good
hashtag.
nails at me. What is that?
FICO.
know what I'm throwing at
Hashtag
you.
FICO.
One day I'll get a
FICO.
hashtag.
Hashtag FICO. And let us know also if you got a credit card advertisement while watching this podcast.
or Credit Karma or any of those things.
Or get out of debt.
Credit Sesame.
Speaking of those like credit things like Credit Karma, that is not your exact score.
Yeah, no.
That's a soft pull. I like
Yeah.
a hard pull.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
We hope you. I'm getting us out of this, guys. We got one more to record tonight. Good Lord. Come back for the next one. It's going to be a rowdy time. Thank you so much for being part of this podcast and for part of this crowd. And we'll see you here next time.
Love you guys.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao. Auf Wiedersehen.